the Social Seachta Holly Cairns.
Thank you, Las Cian Corda. No words can describe the pain of the 18 families involved in this horrific incident. The loss of a baby is an unimaginable tragedy, but the inhumane treatment of their retained organs compounds that pain and trauma. No one can imagine what these families are feeling. My condolences to the families involved. All our thoughts are with you. And we acknowledge the strength and bravery shown by the parents who have been able to speak so powerfully on this matter. It is incomprehensible that an incident like this could happen. It is truly shocking and it is deeply distressing. Leona Birmingham, mother of baby Lee, who died just over 2 years ago, has articulated the suffering and anger of her family and others. She explained, "I want people to know he had a name and he was beautiful. I want people to realise that he was a baby that was born alive. There is someone behind these organs that we speak about. This scandal is about those babies and their families. We must never lose sight of that." They donated their children's organs in good faith that it might help save lives. It was an incredible gift they gave in the hope that another family would not suffer the same pain. This wonderful act makes the callous treatment of the organs even worse, if that were possible. The grieving families impacted by this scandal deserve answers. We as a society also deserve answers. The House must do everything it can to ensure that this never happens again. This incident is distressing for other families who have lost babies in CUMH and other maternity hospitals who are left fearful about the treatment of their children's remains. We need robust mechanisms to provide assurances to those families as well. It also brings to mind our horrific history concerning the treatment of deceased infants and children by state-funded bodies in Ireland, a history which is still very much alive for many families and is the subject of legislation coming before the Oireachtas. When we hoped these types of practices were a thing of the past, a new scandal like this arises. There are no words. It should also be noted that CUMH has a bereavement care team for people experiencing pregnancy loss and perinatal death. These are incredibly important services which need to be appreciated and fully funded. It is essential that scandals like this one do not stain the good work of these teams and caring professionals. However, we need answers and the establishment of unequivocal protocols to ensure that this can never happen again. The 18 families directly affected, other families who have endured loss under similar circumstances, need those reassurances. Minister, after previous similar scandals dating back more than 2 decades, why were there no safeguards in place in CUMH in 2021? How are you ensuring there will be safeguards now and this will never happen again? And is the review you reference going to ensure that this hasn't happened in any other hospital in the country? If I could have 1 minute at the end to come back in, please, Minister, I'd appreciate that. Is the review that you're referencing going to ensure that this hasn't happened in any other hospital in the country?
Thank you, Deputy, for the questions. With regards to the first question, why were there no safeguards in place? There were, and there are. There were very clear standards in place. There's very clear protocols in place. The national guidelines are very, very clear, and they say that the only 2 avenues available are burial and cremation. And Cork University Hospital, Cork University Maternity Hospital go further, and their own guidelines, as they have stated, is that there's only one option available, which is burial. So what has happened here is that the safeguards and the protocols and the procedures, which are national policy, were not followed. And the first of the 3 reviews, which will be reporting back to me and therefore to all of us in November, is looking at exactly this. What happened, why it happened, and it then goes to your second question. What happened, why did it happen, and what needs to be done about it? So there are at least 2 things. First of all, we'll get this review. This review, or 3 things rather. The review will say what needs to be changed with regards to this specific incident. The second review, which is the perinatal review, the regional review, is also looking at what needs to happen from a guidelines and standard operating procedures perspective. And then the third thing is that we will legislate, hopefully right across the House, with support from the House. The Human Tissue Bill is going to enshrine all of this into legislation. And then to your third question, I immediately sought assurances from the HSE for the entire healthcare system. They are reporting back to me in 3 weeks on that. They are looking at the current situation, and the provisional view I have from the HSE is that all of the guidelines are currently being followed. What the HSE is doing now is looking backwards to see where they also followed in previous years.
But you can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
That's correct, yeah.
Minister, I don't get much face-to-face time with you, so I wanted to raise the issue of baby Kate from Dunmanway. I want to ask you and the HSE to do all you can to approve Zolgensma, a drug used to treat spinal muscular atrophy. This has been called a miracle drug that could save the lives of very small children like Kate, who have a rare muscular condition. Kate Maynard is 17 months old, and this drug is generally only administered to children under the age of 2 based on their weight. Kate's parents are pleading with the HSE to strike a deal with the manufacturers of this drug in time for Kate to be able to benefit. So, Minister, I'm asking you to please do all that you can to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
20 seconds, Minister, if you want.
I think yes. Yeah. So there is a drug that has been approved called Spinraza, and actually I met with parents of a beautiful young boy earlier on this week in the Laura Lynn Foundation, who and the parents are telling me that the impact of the drug this young boy is taking is having a real impact, which is very, very encouraging. This new drug you have raised has been raised with me, and the Centre for Pharmacoeconomics will be taking a look, and I fully appreciate that for baby Kate and for her parents, that time is of the essence. Thank you.
Thank you.